Welcome back to Outside the Beltway. I'm John Fredericks. Boy, the illegal crossings at the border reaching record levels every single day. No one seems to care. Illegals flooding into the country. Biden's goal, transform America, give everybody amnesty, keep getting illegals in, don't deport them, because everyone that comes in, they can make a new victim, they can make them a new Democratic voter in perpetuity, they can put them on some kind of government assistance, so they are totally dependent on voting for people with a D by their name so they can get to their ultimate goal, which is a one-party elite system with everybody else in it that they tell what to do, which is their ultimate goal. We all know that now. That's why they're not securing the border. We're going to go to Panama City, Panama, where noted and often contributor to Outside the Beltway and Real America's Voice News and the John Fredericks Show, Michael Yon, is with us, longtime war correspondent, and he has done extensive work there. Michael, you had a congressman with you earlier in the week, Tom Tiffany, Republican from Wisconsin. You got to show him the number of people coming across the Darien Gap River from paying these indigenous Indians or whomever to bring them over. What is going on there, Michael?
Well, there's a huge flow coming in from South America through the Darien Gap. The Darien Gap is that area between Colombia and Panama where the Pan Am Highway ends. So it goes for about 60 miles, some of the roughest jungle in the world. I would guess, based on the many interviews I've done for the last 3 months, that about 10% of the people that attempt this actually die out in the Darien Gap. It is really brutal. And they say all the pretty women are raped, all the light-skinned women are raped, almost everybody is robbed, many people drown. It's a really epic journey. And once they make it out of that, the survivors, they finally are collected here in Panama, and they're put on buses and sent to Costa Rica, and after that, finally Nicaragua, and they continue to head north and finally to the United States. But so Representative Congressman Tom Tiffany saw some of my work down here and asked if he could take a vacation and come see me in the Darien Gap, which is pretty unprecedented because this is pretty dangerous. And so he came down on vacation. And so it took me a while, a lot of reconnaissance out there. I had to work with the Indians because I couldn't work through the government to do it. It's an Indian reservation, Imbara Indians, and they are literally wild Indians. I mean, they hunt with poison darts and that sort of thing, and bathe in the rivers naked. I've spent a lot of time with them out in many of their villages. And so they took me out, and we went, took Congressman Tiffany out to Bajo Chiquito Village, which you can see on the video now. Those are 20 boats coming out of, filled with about 300 migrants. That was just a few days ago. And one of those boats tipped over, by the way, that very first boat in the video, it tipped over, capsized shortly after this. We didn't see it because we had already gone upstream a little bit more. And 3 of them almost drowned, but the Indians rescued them. And then one of the Indians came up and told us later. So actually, those migrants right there are being smuggled. That was about 300. Then we made it to the village. There was about 200 more there, and others were limping in or being dragged in on people's backs because they couldn't walk. One guy appeared to have gangrene in his feet from trench foot. It's pretty terrible out there. But Tom Tiffany saw it. He's a brave man. He's a dairy farmer. He didn't complain one time. We're getting it's the jungle, man. It was like 3 hours up in Apocalypse Now jungle, and Tom Tiffany, he manned up and did it.
What was his reaction, Michael Yon?
Well, the first reaction when you walk into that village is, I've been in about 20 of the Imbara Indian villages, and this is the only one that stinks. And it stinks because there's so many migrants coming in, and they defecate everywhere, literally everywhere. You can't walk in a straight line. And, they've been out in the jungle for at least a week trying to get through the Darien Gap, and those survivors come into the village and they just leave trash everywhere, defecate everywhere. And so Tom Tiffany saw this. Congressman Tiffany, I still can't believe he did it. He went out there and he saw these migrants. A lot of them are from places like Yemen, Somalia, Bangladesh, Pakistan. Many are from Nepal, India. And most of them come from Cuba and Haiti, but they come from about 80 countries. So that's basically a Star Wars cafe out there in Bajo Chiquito, which is, several hours by those dugout canoes from the nearest road.